Dear Dr. S. Subba Rao, the Surveyor General of India, a very dynamic person who is leading the survey of India in the best possible way under very trying circumstances. Dr. S.P.S. Bakshi, Chairman and SD Engineering Project India Limited, Mr. Kaushik Chakrabarti, Mr. Rajiv Ranjan, Mr. Joseph Francisca, and dear Manish Prasad, thank you very much for inviting me to this August gathering. I really feel very honored and privileged to be here. And apart from what the Parliament of India is discussing and deciding, I have to just attend its session today. I think this is one of the most important and significant congregations here in Delhi, deciding about the future of India and strategizing on the development aspect, on poverty eradication, and on helping create a new, vibrant, strong and prosperous India. So I salute all those who are involved in this Survey 2014 conference, and I wish you success. Friends, surveying is the most important, one of the most important segments of our national activities. It helps us to know, to understand, to see. And while I say that, I must quote Swami Vivekananda, who stood at the feet of Mother India in Kanyakumari and looked northward. And he saw the entire India before his eyes, right from Kashmir to Tawang to Okha. And he saluted that this India, before my eyes, must become a great, prosperous, powerful nation in the comity of the world. The survey provides us the tools to create new idioms and new paradigms in the development field. As Mr. Joseph was saying about the new technologies and new methodologies being used for surveying, but I think like nuclear energy, surveying is also a two-way process. It can be used for the best welfare and development of the society, and it can also be used for other purposes which may not be so welcome. And we have been passing through such incidents also. I must say that the advancement of technology has placed like a smartphone in the hands of most of the individuals in our country, and with the availability of all sort of maps, we can visit almost all landmarks with ease. But it has other aspects of the security also. I will come to that a little later. I will like to concentrate more on the development aspect of the survey. As the UNDP report says, that India will be adding about 250 million population to its urban agglomerates. And the government is encouraging buildings of smart cities, skill development, as Prime Minister Narendra Modi has declared. And this would need accurate and updated large-scale maps. There is a link between the topographical and its attribute survey with development and planning. The infrastructure development needs detailed and large-scale maps. The survey and mapping at large scale, which at present is carried out by Survey of India, it's time the domestic mapping industry looks into the need to join hands with Survey of India to meet the exponential need for large-scale topographical maps. While we would appreciate domestic industry to join hands in building large-scale maps, there will always be need to regulate survey and mapping activities in view of the perceptions related to security concerns and measures thereof. There should be an equal play field. no agency and no mapping agency and no mapping organizations should be allowed to be above the law. The law of the land must prevail. The law of the land must be the supreme guiding element for all the mapping agencies. Now, I must say that the government is not against industry carrying out survey and mapping. Everyone benefits out of that, and we feel that the common man on the street must be able to know as much as he can, as much as that information does not violate the law of the land or breaches the security issues. But they should adhere to the law of the land, yes. There are views that laws regulating survey and mapping needs to be looked into. If there is any need to change the regulatory frame, we are open to the suggestion, and I am sure Survey of India would take a leadership role in this. I wish that this conference would also be able to suggest the government the ways and means and the future pathway for the government to reform, to make corrections if there are any corrections needed in the government policies, in the mapping sector, and to make the Indian mapping industry the best tool to deliver in the development sector, in the eradication of poverty, in making Indian more informed, more knowledgeable about their geographical areas, about the areas of where they want to invest, about the areas where they want to create more roads and more infrastructure. That should be freely available within the framework of the land of the laws. And I am also aware that there are new technologies which are coming up, including the drones, UAVs for surveying. We would like to encourage use of new tools and equipments. As these new tools can bring change in ways mapping can be done, but we need to look into UAVs and aerial survey policy. Certainly, we look forward getting feedback from your panelists, from the discussions that will be organized in this conference in the next 2 days. And we would also like to enabling the survey and mapping industry to regulate itself to conform to the security needs. When the state of cyber security in India is abysmal. A report by the security firm Norton suggested that about 42 million Indians suffered approximately $8 billion in direct financial losses in the year 2012 alone. A few days back, a report of leading newspapers suggested that cyber crimes registered under the IT Act shot up by over 50% across the country between 2012 and 2013. Among states, the highest incidents of cybercrime took place in Maharashtra, followed by Uttar Pradesh and Andhra Pradesh. Even more alarming is the news regarding the city of Bangalore, which has seen 0 convictions till now, despite having 509 cases registered in the past 13 years. Besides that, the recent revelations create an atmosphere of concern over the involvement of foreign intelligence agencies in spying sovereign organizations. There is a need to reform and implementation of national cyber security policy and also to create a very positive national surveying policy. You cannot open your country and all the corners, every bit, every inch of your nation for purposes who would be suspect in the eyes of law. So, there is a need to create such a policy so that protection of public and private infrastructure against wrongfully aimed surveying, mapping and cyber attacks can be protected, can be provided protection. To highlight the geostrategic importance maps play, I would reiterate to the narrative of our two immediate neighbors. You know, how the maps can play even to avoid wars. You know that we are having negotiations with our largest neighbor in the north, China, and we have resolved that all our disputes would be solved through negotiations and through discussions, and the maps are playing a very vital role in those discussions. Therefore, I must, while congratulate the organizers of this Survey 2014 conference, I must urge that the national security should find a prime place in all such negotiations. I have raised the issue in the Parliament also. The national security issue should not be compromised while discussing and providing all sort of freedom, providing a very positive and comfortable atmosphere for surveying and mapping. These are very vital tools, instruments for the national development, bringing prosperity to the millions of people in the country, and to realize the dream of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. I would urge that more and more surveying and mapping instruments should be made available for all the common people, so that a positive purpose of achieving development aims of the country are realized. The surveying and mapping has been a very ancient virtue with the Indians. Every day, whenever we have a worship, whenever we have a puja, for the thousands of years, the Indians have been doing the very first step to declare their position wherever they are holding such a small ritual. It has never been done in any other ancient civilization except India. Jambu Dvipe, Desh Deshantare, Aryavarte, Delhi Nagare, and even the smallest locality's name. And this has been done, this is being done for the last 10,000 years. It was the colonial hangover and the assaults of the invaders that made us forget and made us feel a bit inferior about the achievements and the great virtues of our ancestors, of the great scientists, mathematicians who existed here thousands of years before. I would urge Dr. Subbarao that ancient knowledge should also be given a place of pride in such conferences. Chinese do it. They are very, very proud of their heritage and their civilizational virtues. When we say in Vishnu Puran, 1,000 years before, Uttaram yat samudrasya dakshinam himadraschaiva varsha tad bharatam nama bharati tatra santati. How would they say and create these kind of exact geographical proportions of their land if they had not surveyed the land? Ask Sindhu Sindhu Paryanta, Sindhu se Sindhu tak Bharat Varsha, उत्तर में हिमालय है, दक्षिण में महासागर है. आर्यावर्त का जो संपूर्ण भौगोलिक क्षेत्र हम लोग हजारों वर्ष से अपने ग्रंथों में वर्णित करते हैं, तो क्या वे मूर्खता से करते थे? क्या वे अज्ञान के कारण करते थे? वह ज्ञान जिसने हमको यहां तक पहुंचाया, वह ज्ञान जो कि हजारों वर्ष से हमको यह प्रेरणा देता है कि जब भी हम कोई शुभ और मंगल कार्य करें तो पहले हम अपना जीपीएस सिस्टम, अपनी पोजीशनिंग हम घोषित करें कि मैं इस संपूर्ण क्षेत्र में, जम्बू द्वीप में, जिसको आप साउथ एशिया कहते हैं, उसके आर्यावर्त में, भारतवर्ष में किस नगर में, किस मोहल्ले में हूं, किस स्थान में हूं, वह हम घोषित करने के बाद ही कोई अच्छा काम करें। तो वह जो ज्ञान परंपरा है, जिस ज्ञान परंपरा ने ऑक्सफोर्ड और कैम्ब्रिज से 2000 साल पहले भारत में नालंदा और तक्षशिला स्थापित किए, जहां 30 लाख पुस्तकें थी। They had 3 million books on everything, on mathematics, on geography, on geometry, on trigonometry, on chemistry and physics. तो यह जो अपने ज्ञान के प्रति एक तिरस्कार और हीनता का बोध है, यह भी हमें इस प्रकार के सम्मेलनों से दूर करना है। और आपका यह सर्वे 2014 सम्मेलन सफल हो, यशस्वी हो, केवल भारत के नागरिकों के लिए ही नहीं बल्कि संपूर्ण हमारे दक्षिण एशिया के नागरिकों के लिए यह एक मार्गदर्शक, दिशाबोधक कार्यक्रम दे। मैं यही प्रार्थना करता हूं। आपको पुनः आपका कृतज्ञ हूं कि आपने मुझे आमंत्रित किया। धन्यवाद।